AA, rehab, residential living, do they work? Can they help you get your sentence reduced or keep you out of jail? Yeah, they can, but there's a few things you need to know. If you're going to try and if you're interested in a 30-day residential treatment program, what most people call rehab, get an order from the judge first for you to go to rehab. That way you get day-for-day credit against any jail or sheriff work that you have to do. Now, there is a problem with that, and that is that if you do 30 days of residential, you'll get credit for 30 days of jail time. However, you won't get credits, okay? If you do 30 days of jail time, you'll get 50% credits in just about every courtroom I've appeared in California. That means that you don't do 30 days, you end up doing 15 days. But if you're sentenced to 30 days and you want to get the 4019 credits, that's what they're called, for rehab, they're not going to give it to you. So you'll have to do the whole 30 days in rehab or 15 days in jail. That's one of the disadvantages of residential. But look, I've seen judges reduce sentences all the time. If you've attended AA meetings and you have a really good attendance, if you have a sponsor and you bring in a letter from a sponsor, you may get some sympathy for a judge. The judge's main responsibility is to make sure that you don't get another DUI. And so when you go in for treatment for drug abuse or the abuse of alcohol, they really like that. Outpatient, it's very rare where I see anyone get credit for an outpatient treatment center. It's usually residential, but I did have one case where my client was sentenced to 120 days in jail, and I wanted to get it down to 60 days, and the judge said to me, I'll need something in mitigation. So I went out and I talked to my client. I came back in the courtroom and I said, 90 in 90. That means 90 AA meetings in 90 days, okay? And the judge thought about that, and then he said, I can live with that. And so he gave me what I wanted. Now, why is 90 and 90 so important? Because they have shown, there are studies that have shown that if you've done 90 straight days of AA meetings, you have a much lower recidivism rate, a much lower rate of being likely to reoffend than if you haven't. So make sure if you go to AA meetings to get a sign-in sheet. Okay, and if you need a sign-in sheet, call my office. We'll email or fax one to you. But get a sign-in sheet, and when you go to the AA meeting, give that sign-in sheet to the secretary. There's always a secretary in every AA meeting. And they'll sign you in, and they'll give the sheet back to you. You want to bring that sheet with you to court. I recommend that people do as many AA meetings as they can. I kept a woman out of jail, a serious jail time. She was speeding 30 miles an hour over the posted speed limit on a freeway. She was doing 100 miles an hour while a DUI. That's 60 days straight time in jail, which, you know, netted out with the credits, she would have done 30 days, a month in jail. I brought in AA sign-in sheet showing that she had attended AA meetings constantly shortly after she got her DUI, like within days. And the DA, I didn't even have to take it to the judge. The DA liked it so much that she said to me, tell your client that it was the AA meetings that did it. We're not asking for jail time. And then she cut the sentence in half. So she gave her 15 days of sheriff work, which netted out to 7. So she ended up doing 7 days of sheriff work rather than 15 days of jail time, all because of the AA meetings. So there it is. Always keep a record. Make sure that when you go to rehab that you get a letter, and when you go to AA meetings that you get a sign-in sheet and that it's completed and there's evidence of that fact. If you get a sponsor, have the sponsor write a letter talking about your participation, and hopefully it's a really satisfactory letter that the judge will like. Those things can work for you. But again, if you're gonna go to residential, get the court to order you to residential. Then you get day-for-day credit. If they don't order you to residential, they don't have to give you any credit at all. All right, if you have any questions or comments, our contact information is in the credits at the end of this video. And don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, thanks very much.